In the news this week, free tickets aren't good enough. A majority of viewers plan to skip Royal Show despite ticket discounts, according to our exclusive opinion poll.
Also tonight, pay rise, tax cuts and nuclear submarines. The Prime Minister's Perth Blitz promote key policy achievements. And getting rid of bad apples. Tow truck industry reform laws hit the legislature. And later, Dr. Andrew Miller's comment.
This is The Evening News with Ivan Loon and Maliva Thorne.
Good evening. As the Royal Show edges closer, the final results of our exclusive opinion poll reveals that participating WAMN news viewers aren't keen to attend the annual festival despite free tickets for children and half-price tickets for adults. The question was, with the Cook government announcing free tickets for children and half-price tickets for adults, will you go to this year's Royal Show? The result shows that 77% participating viewers says they won't go, with only 23% saying they will. Although attendance at the Royal Show is still expected to be substantial, what's driving our viewers' decision not to attend this year? Here's Peter Kennedy's exclusive take.
Obviously, Roger Cook and his government are hoping that the concessions for Royal Show entry will spin off and make people feel good about the government when it comes to election time. There's no question that the Royal Show is an enjoyable outing for many families, but it is expensive, especially for young families. So the Cook government's concessions to entry for families that attend the Royal Show will obviously be welcomed. Of course, that says nothing about the costs inside the ground for show bags and rides, etc. But nevertheless, any concession as far as families doing it hard are concerned would be welcome. And to say, the Cook government would be hoping that there's a dividend for them. Time will tell, of course, but the other side of the coin is it the best way to spend taxpayers' money? That's another issue. But as far as the sugar hit is concerned, Cook government will get a sugar hit from those that attend the Royal Show. Even though the survey, our WAMN survey, indicates that the bulk of our viewers, anyway, will not be attending the show, but nevertheless, the 20% or more that will attend the show, most of them would feel welcome to the government's concessions on entry, and that's what Roger Cook would be hoping. A lot of West Australians are doing it tough and linked with government fees and charges. So it's a balancing act for the government. It has to be cautious. It's doing its bit, I suppose, in helping families get to the show. Once inside the show, costs are another matter. Perhaps the government should take it up with the Royal Agricultural Society. Peter Kennedy, WAMN News.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese arrived in Perth this week as part of his nationwide announcement on the wage increase for childcare workers. The Prime Minister also faced multiple questions over Australia's national security policy after Paul Keating slammed the AUKUS deal during a television interview this week.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese touched down in Perth this week to give a major announcement for childcare workers across the nation. At a press conference held at an early learning centre in the Swan Valley earlier this week, Mr Albanese was flanked by Minister for Early Childhood Education and Youth Dr Anne Ali, along with the CEO of Dayton-based Sagewood Early Education Learning Centre and union leaders from the United Workers Union.
Making sure that the work that is done by the early educators here is valued so that they can continue to get that start that they need.
The announcement, which commits to a 15% wage increase for those working as early educators, is welcomed during a cost of living crisis. This means by the end of next year, workers will be taking home an extra $155 in wages. The wage increase is expected to boost a crucial sector in which workers are overwhelmingly leaving.
This is the biggest win that we have won, which is really, really great. And we were having all educators leaving in the past few years because of the pay is so low. And now they will be coming back. Already they have been contacting me and saying that we are coming back. That's a great win.
On the issue of national security, the Prime Minister is forced to defend the government's decision to join AUKUS, following former Prime Minister Paul Keating's scathing assessment on the ABC this week. Mr Albanese also answered further questions regarding the nuclear submarine deal.
Well, we're allies. It's called the US Alliance. We have a commitment that is there through the US alliance, and that's something that's been in place thanks to John Curtin, another West Australian. I missed a comparison of Taiwan and Tasmania, I've got to say. But Paul has his views. He's entitled to express them. Paul was a great Prime Minister that ended in 1996.
Hi there. Are you looking for a new home or want to refinance your car mortgage to get a better rate? At AA Finance Solutions, we have the expertise and knowledge to help you to find the right loan for your needs and budgets. Contact us today. Let us help you to make your home ownership dream a reality.
AA Finance Solutions, your local mortgage broker.
Police detectives are investigating an armed robbery in Mirawa where a man allegedly robbed a cigarette retail store with a screwdriver. The incident happened at 10:40 a.m. at a shopping mall on Baltimore Parade. Authorities said the man toured the store for a short while before allegedly walked up to the counter and revealed a screwdriver. He then allegedly threatened the staff with a screwdriver and demanded her to open the cashier. The man then fled the area on foot with an amount of cash. He was last seen running north at the shopping mall's car park. The man described as wearing a black hoodie, blue jeans and white runners with black face mask. Anyone who recognized the man pictured or has any information in relation to this incident is urged to contact Crime Stoppers.
The Cook government introduces new laws to regulate the tow truck industry's practices dealing with crashes, ensuring fair pricing, safety standards and protecting consumers against predatory practices by tow truck drivers. The bill targets predatory behaviours within the crash towing sector, aiming to protect drivers involved in accidents from excessive charges for towing and vehicle storage. Key reforms under the Towing Services Bill 2024 include price capping on towing and storage charges for light vehicles in Perth and Peel regions, safety standards for towing workers, bans on advertising and spotters fees, occupational authorisation, and bigger penalties for offenders. The government says these measures aim to enhance the integrity and safety of the towing industry, ensuring fair practices and protecting consumers from exploitative behaviours. The opposition, on the other hand, says the government has been dragging its heels when it comes to crucial reforms to the towing industry.
In an unusual case, New South Wales detectives have charged a man over a TV show character-themed heist. This week, a man appeared before a New South Wales court facing charges laid by detectives from the New South Wales Police Robbery and Serious Crime Squad. Authorities will allege the coins were limited edition and had not yet been released. The man has allegedly stolen them. He had been selling the coins which has been stolen from a Sydney warehouse a couple of months ago. While searching the property, police found and took a number of electronic devices as well as 189 Bluey coins that were limited edition and unreleased. The man was taken to Granville Police Station where he was charged with 3 counts of break and enter, commit serious indictable offences. The 47-year-old was refused bail to appear before Parramatta local courts. Police will allege in court that the man was an employee at a warehouse where he located and stolen the Australian mint packages from the back of a truck on Sunday, 23rd of June 2024.
Following the remarkable success of the HSBC Sevens 2024, which attracted 48,000 spectators over 3 days, Perth has been officially selected as the sole Australian host for the 2025 tournament. The HSBC Sevens, formerly known as the HSBC World Rugby Sevens Series, features top rugby nations competing in an alternative format of rugby union, with 7 players per side playing 7-minute halves. The tournament spans 3 days, featuring round-robin and knockout matches. The sport has a strong following in several of Western Australia's key international tourism markets, including the United Kingdom, Singapore, China, and the United States. The Western Australian government aims to leverage the tournament to further its vision of maintaining a year-round calendar of events, positioning the state as a premier destination for international sports. The 2025 tournament is expected to draw significant visitor numbers and will be broadcast globally, enhancing Western Australia's profile as an international sporting host.
And now here's Dr. Andrew Miller with his weekly medical and news commentary.
Hi, thanks for your time. I hope you can forgive me having a bit of a rant this week about the Olympics, because I think it's really thrown into highlight a couple of things which are politically interesting in Australia at the moment, mainly to do with sports and betting on sports. What have the best things about the Olympics been? Well, it's a reminder that there's so many sports out there that are incredibly entertaining to watch. And they're not necessarily the mainstream sports, although we can enjoy our football and cricket and basketball and so on. It's been a real pleasure to watch the track and field highlights and things like the skateboarding, the diving, and of course the shooting. And I think a lot of the memorable moments that have come out of these Olympics have been about the characters and the people surrounding it. And it's been a great reminder that it's not necessarily the winning that counts. It's not necessarily the top teams that count. It's really the human experiences of sport. And that's a long way away from sports betting. And we've seen a pushback against the multi-party recommendations to limit the advertising of sports betting, particularly the exposure of children to the idea of sports betting. It's not really normal to bet on sports. It's always, we grew up with the idea that you might go to the races and bet on the horses, but that's not what the rest of sport was always all about. It was about the competition and about that bringing forward the best in human values, and didn't need to involve big money, cigarettes, alcohol and betting. So I think the desire of those industries to be associated with sport is for obvious reasons, and I think that we need to limit the involvement of the betting culture, the alcohol culture, and certainly the cigarette and vaping culture within the sporting contest, which obviously holds so much appeal for everybody. And I think the Olympics has been a great demonstration that it's the characters, it's the ray guns, it's the pole vaulters, it's the discus throwers, it's the Cuban wrestler. All of these kind of people that we would really like to see more of. Got no problem with people who want to have a flutter doing so in a way that doesn't damage them and their families, but we all know that addiction is a problem for human beings, and that we need to do the best we can to protect families from the curse that has been spread through our communities by things like poker machines in some places, and we need to constantly be pushing back against the co-option of the really positive aspects of sport by big gambling interests. Thanks very much for your time.
And now here's Leo Perlisi with what's coming up on 6 News tonight.
Thanks guys. The top stories we're following on 6 News. Labor frontbenchers hit out at former PM Paul Keating after he criticises AUKUS and describes Taiwan as Chinese real estate. Preference whisperer Glenn Drury joins Independent Senator Fatima Payman as her Chief of Staff after she crossed the floor over Palestine. And less than 2 weeks until the NT decides as the top end's general election quietly approaches. All those stories and more coming up on the hour every hour. You can watch live 24/7 on the 6 News YouTube channel. For now though guys, it's back to you.
Thanks Leo, and that's our weekly news and current affairs. We have the latest news on our website, wamnnews.com.au.
Remember to subscribe to the WAMN Extra News Club so we can continue our work in the community. Full details on wamnnews.com.au/news/extra. From Melly and myself, wish you good health, good night, see you next Sunday.
Thanks for watching.